Welcome back to the Sam and Ahmed podcast for WDSportz.
That's Sam and Ahmed, just in case they get confused, because they could have forgot from last time. But it's good to be back. Obviously, we've had a lot of things happen from last week. Obviously, we had the magic, which is the FA Cup return. How did you feel?
I do like the FA Cup.
I think everyone loves it.
It's a good competition. I do like it. Obviously, we've been out since the first round, which is depressing. But
who did you go out to, Sunderland?
We went out to someone in League Two, someone rubbish. We should have beaten them, but it's the second time we've ever been out in the first round of the FA Cup, and it's happened 2 years in a row.
Yeah. You see, it's great. When you think of the FA Cup, sometimes if you're looking from a business point of view from the outside, that competition is great for teams like you guys, because obviously the more rounds you go through, the more money you get, the more attention you get, the more revenue you bring in. Compared to clubs such as mine, Manchester United, I feel like it's just additional. And obviously it's a piece of silverware Ollie could realistically win. I mean, there's that stat, I can't remember it now.
Man United are the first team to qualify for 7 quarterfinals of the FA Cup in a row ever.
That's a pretty interesting stat, but obviously it's about what you do with it, the return on it. Yeah. You could go through 12 times.
It's a good chance for a team who won't win the league, like you or like Spurs.
Yeah.
You're unlikely to win the league.
Yeah.
It looks like Man City's going to
City are absolutely running away.
And if Liverpool can start defending well, they might get back into it eventually. Yeah. But it's a good chance for teams like you, Chelsea, even this season. I don't know if Chelsea's still in it.
I think they are, but obviously, because Chelsea have fallen.
Chelsea have fallen off in the league, but they could, if they're still in the FA Cup, they could kick on in the FA Cup, because you only need one result each round, don't you? Yeah. But it's a good.
Yeah, I mean,
good option.
Watching it yesterday, I don't know. I felt like I was watching a cricket match sometimes because it's very cagey. Man United looked like they didn't want it. We started with Matic and Van De Beek, who I'll get onto later, but it just looked like we couldn't care less. Like if West Ham scored, we'd be like, okay, we're out.
It was a very poor game for the first 90 minutes. Yeah. Extra time was all right. Yeah. When Scott McTominay came on.
McSauce.
Yeah. I'm not to brag here. I called it when he came on. Yeah. Him and Bruno came on, and someone mentioned, who do you think is going to make the difference here? And I went, it's got to be Scott McSauce.
Did you bet on it?
No. Well,
I should have bet
on it. I bet on the SuperBowl. Another topic for later.
Yeah. But when you see that happen and you think, they just simply don't care. Like, I don't know why. Like, being a Man United fan, sometimes when you get to like a League Cup semi-final and FA Cup semi-final, respectively, there is that lack of intent from the players. That it's been happening for the past seasons now, where they turn up and it looks like they just don't care. Yeah. Whoever will be, and they don't really look like they have that fight or desire to win a trophy. And I think that's a problem I'm seeing constantly occur with all these Man United. Every time they get close, it just simply switches off. And then, like Roy Keane said, supporting Man United isn't great for your health sometimes, because then you're like, yes, we're so close. No, it's been swept underneath.
Like against Everton at the weekend, where you're 3-2 up.
Yeah.
You seem to be just seeing the game out.
Cruising out.
And then Harry Maguire plays the entire Everton team on the side. And it's like,
what are you doing?
You're the most expensive defender ever. Yeah. What are you doing?
Because that game was the definition of a smooth ride turned into a car crash. First half is a smooth ride. We're cruising in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever, a top sports car. And then the next thing you know, we've turned into this like provisional driving lesson where you're just crashing into a wall, and it's a car crash of a game, and you're just wondering what is going on. But it's just one of those things where, like, obviously that's why we falter, that's why we fail, and I think that's why the Ollie out brigade wins a lot of the time. Because when stuff like that happens, they say, an experienced manager, especially going against Don Carlo, who I know you love.
I loved it. I'm a big fan of Everton this year. Yeah. Calvert-Lewin's scoring. He's from Sheffield, like me. So, I'm a big fan of that. And I love James Rodriguez. Ever since the World Cup, pretty much. Even maybe before that, when he was at Porto. I've loved him. And I just think he's great. I love Colombian football, though, because of that World Cup, pretty much. But I'm a big fan of this Everton team. Yeah.
And you have a Colombian shirt as well, don't you?
Yeah, I bought a Colombian shirt in first year.
You love the Colombians, but it's just that issue there, and it's that thing that's getting bigger and bigger with Ollie's Man United structure. And then the players we brought in, you talked about Harry Maguire playing everyone on side. Harry Maguire is a 50-50 for me sometimes. Sometimes he looks like he's there, like a top tier defender, and other times he looks like he should be playing for Stevenage.
I feel like he gets a lot of hate because he's the world's most expensive defender.
Yeah.
Like, if he wasn't the world's most expensive defender, say if you paid 50 million for it, I think everyone would be like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's because you paid 85 mil, and that's 10 more than Liverpool paid for Van Dijk, and he's been, the best defender in the world for the last 2 years.
2 years. And then when you talk about, I mentioned him now, I think it's a perfect time to bring up Donny Van De Beek when he was there. He reminded me of that kid, like your mate, who's not really into football, but you need him for numbers, for goals. Yeah. So you give him a ring, you convince him to come, and then he's playing, but he's not really playing. He's just standing there, trying to get involved with the odd tackle here and there. You give him the ball, he panics, he just boots it wide. And that's Donny right there. He looked like a nervous school kid, looking like out of place. He looked congested and weirded. And he looked like he was over-trying at times, over-exerting himself on pointless decisions. And
he looked like he wasn't sure what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He looked so low on confidence last night, which I'm not surprised about.
Yeah.
Because, well, his minutes have been few and far between.
Yeah.
But it's just, you can't, he come in to that Man United team in the same role, and he wants to play the same role with Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Pogba also wants to play that role, basically.
Yeah.
So you're stuck playing either Pogba or Donny Van De Beek as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Because Bruno, you can't drop.
No.
You look like half the team without Bruno. You were awful
yesterday.
Yeah. But then when Bruno came on, I say it was Scott McSauce. It was Bruno, really, wasn't it?
Bruno changed the game and stuff like that.
He makes all the players more confident. He makes everything.
And that over-reliance on the player, we've seen it before. We talked about last week in the relegation battle where over-reliance on the striker. Yeah. Perhaps Man United are having that with an over-reliance on the midfielder of Bruno Fernandes, relying on him to do everything for us. And then, obviously, with Donny, it's just that weird feeling where, because he came from Ajax, again, a lot of promise, a lot of prospect, everyone thought it was a good signing. Yeah. Van der Sar told him to come, a club legend. Okay, cool. It's not just some random stranger. And then he comes in, and then he just didn't really get into it. I feel like it's more of a club signing than an Ollie signing. Yeah. Because Ollie doesn't really know what to do with him.
It seems like the sort of player that would keep the fans shut up without really needing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what did he cost you? 50 mil?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like, Man United fans, if you hadn't signed anyone in summer, you'd have been very angry. Yeah. Like, you'd have been like, well, we need to strengthen. We didn't win the league last year. We want to be up there challenging, surely.
Yeah, of course.
So then I feel like Ed Woodward's brought in Donny to take some pressure off his back, basically. But it's not worked out for him.
No, it's not worked out. It's like, I can't explain. I think it reminds me a lot when Abramovich first came in to Chelsea, and this is when he fell out with Mourinho, and he would sign players like Shevchenko and Balak, who apparently Mourinho never wanted according to sources. It's kind of like that. I feel like Ollie doesn't really have that much control, but Ollie's not that type of character who'd be like, hey, I don't want him. Get him out. It's more like, okay, I'll take him. I'm happy with what I got. For one guy who surprised me throughout the whole thing is Cavani. I think Cavani's really come in and changed the way.
Cavani's been excellent for you. He's much better than Martial. At least he finished his chances. Yeah. I think he's been a very good signing for you. Yeah. I think if he starts every game, I think you'll be a lot better team for it. A sort of target man for Rashford, Bruno, and usually Greenwood, isn't it? Right? Who to build off, because you're playing that 4-2-3-1, don't you?
Yeah. But again, coming back to the FA Cup, on that, I'm happy that we're through and happy that. But for me personally, from an FA Cup point of view, I always like an underdog type of story. Yeah. We had something with Marine. I can't remember that team now with the guy who had the pie, paying Piegate.
I remember who you mean. I can't remember the team.
Well, if people are watching, they can let us know in the comments. But when I saw that, that's what the FA Cup is to me. And I feel like now, obviously, we're living in this post-COVID world. So teams like Marine, who come through, who play Spurs, they're not playing as much football as they would like to or want to. No. So what happens is when they play against a team like Premier League, who are playing on a regular, they're just outdone because probably they don't have match fitness and what have you.
They can't even put up a decent fight. Like Marine, that was their end of their season. Yeah. Because their league's been cancelled, doesn't it? Because of coronavirus, obviously.
And obviously they end up probably a high, but you'd hope that would continue, because when Lincoln went on that terrific FA Cup run with the two brothers, because they were on Match of the Day talking about it, it gave them the motivation to get promoted, because they were like, okay, we've just beat I think they beat Burnley or something, I can't remember. We could go on to get promoted.
Well, and now look at them, they're top of League One.
Exactly.
After only being promoted last year from League Two. So.
Yeah, and that is something insane. I know as well, as a Sunderland fan, You've been to a few cup runs, haven't you? You've been to a few cup runs.
Yeah, I've been to. We went to the Carabao Cup. What was it? Carling Cup final against Man City in 2014. It was a very upset. That was Yaya Touré's masterclass. But you know what I think about Yaya Touré. It's a topic for another day. I can't get into that.
Did you go to? Was it Johnson Paint?
Yeah, we went to the Czech Trade Trophy final. Yeah, that was
very
upsetting.
Yeah, Messi just like night.
Exactly. But you'd take any trophy. For us, we'd take a playoff final.
And a good cup run can lead to such a great distraction. The other day, some Wigan fans were talking about when they went to the FA Cup final and got relegated that season. They say it's still the best season they had because they had that great cup.
Yeah, I think a lot of relegation-threatened teams would rather win the FA Cup and go down or win the League Cup and go down than stay up and go down next season.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones you look at and think, okay, it's great that this is happening. I'm glad the FA Cup is continuing and stuff like that, but I feel bad for teams that could have probably, if their leagues carried on, could have had a good run. You never know, we could have seen more upsets, but again, it just becomes the cool kids at the table. It becomes the top six who just basically dominate that competition.
We used to now, really. Yeah. In the quarters, who is it? It's Man United, Tottenham are definitely there.
The City are there. I think Chelsea are there too.
Yeah.
And the rest continues because obviously it's just the big. Obviously, Arsenal got knocked out by Southampton. Which is nice, but Arsenal are also rubbish. So it's Spurs City tonight, isn't it? Yeah. So one of them will be knocked out, probably Spurs, because Man City don't look like conceding anytime soon. Yeah, Man City look like they're the best team in England, and credit to them. Look at them against Liverpool. Yeah. Phil Foden masterclass. Yeah, exactly. I'm very happy for Phil Foden. Yeah. Big fan of his. Yeah. And you talk about when they lost De Bruyne, I was like, that's it. Yeah. That's the nail in the coffin. Yeah. They can't do it. And then Diaz has come out of nowhere. And credit to Stones as well. I don't think Stones has really turned because he's gone back to basics and he's kind of learned how to play football again. It's like Pep's taken him down all the way and then built him back up to being a half decent defender. The defender they bought when they first bought him. I think the one player from that City team, though, for me personally, that looks like a completely different player in a negative way is probably Raheem Sterling. When you look at him, and you talk about them doing well in England. They always do well. But for me, I think the one trophy that they pass, that they look at in the cafeteria, like the nice dessert at the end, is the Champions League. Yeah. And boy, do they want it. How they went out last year to Lyon was just weird. It reminded me of a FIFA game because somehow Lyon suddenly got back into it. Well, it's just strange, isn't it? Yeah. It's strange that they haven't gone to a final yet. No. Because losing in a final, all right, it's one leg. Anything can happen. Yeah. But getting to that final, it should be the two best teams in Europe. It should be. It should be every year. But I mean, I don't think Pep ever won it with Bayern or got to a final with Bayern, did he? No, I don't think he did. I think he hasn't won it since Barca days. But obviously, at the Barca days, legit. No disrespect to him, but you could have gave me that team. I think I could have done well. But when you look at that aspect of him, you can tell he really, really wants it, and he wants it hard because he looks so distraught. Like when they got knocked out, we talked about it last week to Spurs. That 3 seasons ago, they looked so defeated and they came so close because I think if they made it to the final, I think they could have gave Liverpool a game. Yeah. I'm not disrespecting Spurs or anything in the slightest, but how it worked out was I think Spurs tried to cancel it out Liverpool and just ended up parking the bus and they were unfortunate to concede that early. That performance by Spurs was it was unlucky to concede. Second minute, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And they were chasing the game, and they were just so open in defence. But but of course, this is going to be a weird thing now. It's a European competition, of course. So the French league, German league, English league, and you never know. Germany might go into another lockdown. Yeah. They might have to close, and the Champions League might carry on, but the Bundesliga won't. So you might see Lewandowski fully rested and only turn up in the European Champions League, and there's all sorts of like that. I think it's only happening in one country, isn't it? It's in Hungary and Romania. I'm not sure why it's them countries. Probably I don't know really, because does it make much difference? The players aren't going outside anyway. No, I mean that's what I mean. I think I don't know. It's very strange, and obviously money over people. They want it to carry on because the Champions League is probably the most watched sporting event in the world at the moment. Don't hold me to that. I'm sure it is up there. But they want them to carry on. They want them to do all that. But for me, I don't know who's going to be in the final. I don't know because I never count out Real Madrid or Barcelona, regardless of their league form, because sometimes they have a freak season.
All their Champions League form. Real Madrid have been very bad this year, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
But very lucky to squeeze through.
Yeah, and then obviously PSG are there again, and obviously they've come with Poch, and Poch is trying to lead them.
He's got experience of getting to finals.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's got a team that he can rely on more than just 3 players.
Well, he's got one player as well. He could just
he's always going to sprint past the defence, isn't he? But
and then obviously I think English clubs. I think still Chelsea still in it.
I think so. Yeah.
Chelsea, Man City,
Liverpool.
Obviously we're out, which is I love Europa League football. I love going in the middle of Europe and stuff like that.
Well, at the moment, no one's going anywhere. Do you think that's why they might have moved it? Because it's to stop fans from congregating outside the grounds, maybe.
Maybe they moved it.
When Liverpool won the league last year, all their fans, understandably, if we won the league in any league, we'd all be outside the stadium celebrating. But do you reckon, because there's no Hungarian teams left in it, no Romanian teams left in it, it's like you can't go into the stadium, so you're not really supporting your team, and people aren't allowed out. Mobility of countries.
And I think maybe Hungary and Romania on the no-fly zone across Europe altogether, so probably that's why they're doing it. But it's a great shame because Champions League for me, I think, it's one of those things where I think we need fans back, and obviously we've got to take these measures to make sure that we can return back soon, because I don't know when's the last time you went to a game. For me,
I haven't been to a game for a year now.
Yeah, same.
Boxing Day 2019, I think was the last game I went to.
I think the last game I bought a ticket for Man United versus Lask, and that was my last game I was supposed to go to, but then obviously it never happened, so I got refunded. Obviously, I think Man United tried to say oh, you can have a ticket in the near future, but I know there's no near future from now. I think the next time will probably be next year, hopefully anyway.
Well, I think this whole season's going to be played behind closed doors.
But that's big competition. And speaking of big competition, we had another thing, and I think that's why the American flag.
That's why the American flag.
Because we wanted to talk about, because I know you absolutely detest it.
I'm not a big fan of.
You call it hand egg. You think it's just catching and running.
Egg catching.
You don't believe in this conversion of the American dream and what have you, and that's absolutely fine. But
I did actually quite enjoy the Super Bowl.
It was a Super Bowl. That's the way it was.
I don't know what it was that made me enjoy it. I've never enjoyed it before. I've watched it 3 years in a row now. Yeah. And this is the first one I thought, actually, this is quite. I don't like the sport at all. I'm never going to play it.
No.
I don't think be a fan of it.
Yeah, it's very expensive to play in this country anyway, because I think it's like £250 for the kit and everything. So it's a bit pointless playing it here.
Yeah, but it's just I enjoyed it. Obviously I put far too many bets on.
But maybe that's why you liked it, maybe.
Maybe it kept me excited throughout the game. All of them lost. I don't know how. But I. One bet either way, or each team to win. Neither of them came in, but
that's quite funny. But I think what that is, I think for me there's that fear. We talked about Champions League. I hated the Champions League final turned into that. We see a 3-hour thing, a half-time show. I think. I hope we don't see a half-time show in football anytime soon. Because it was just so tragic. I mean, I've been to games where they've got singers out and all that, and maybe it's our culture, we just don't enjoy it.
It was enjoyable for the Super Bowl because it was on telly, but if you were in person at that Super Bowl, you don't get to see that.
Yeah,
there's no point. You might as well watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, what the hell? Oh, you just got to look at the jumpers. Oh, this is great. Yeah. But when you see stuff like that, and obviously it comes back to what I said about the FA Cup, you don't never see any joukins because Americans believe in a closed league system, so you buy a franchise in.
I'm not.
You get that.
I'm not a big fan of that either, to be honest.
Because there's no point.
I do quite like MLS football. I must say it's entertaining at least. There's plenty of teams, plenty of actually decent players. It gets hated on a lot. As a retirement home, but there is actually some good players in the MLS, and it's.
Who do you support when it's the MLS?
Well, Real Salt Lake supposedly, but I'm not really sure anymore.
No.
I used to have a Pele New York Cosmos shirt.
Wow, that's quite rare.
No, it was a remake. It wasn't an actual Pele shirt. It was and that they would be my team, but they're not allowed in. That's what I don't get because they would be there because there's two teams from New York. They won't sell another franchise to New York Cosmos. But who knows?
I mean, when I was watching it, obviously I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. We won it 3 seasons ago. And that was really good because I've supported that team since I got into it. And it's pretty cool, and watching it, it's nice and all that, but I can see from point sides of the arguments because it is a long thing to watch, especially in this country, because it starts like.
Started at 11:30.
Half 11.
It was an early start this year, wasn't
it? 11, because I think it was in Florida or something. 11:30, and it ends at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long thing to push yourself through.
Yeah.
It's very stop-start. Obviously, we're not used to that. Football, you know, it's like if the ball went out and it was like, and now a sponsor from our Snickers ad.
I think that's what really irritates me the most. Is that players have one job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a footballer having one job? It's like.
Well, keepers technically have one job, don't they?
But keepers don't really have one job. They've got to make a save, and then they've got to keep the ball, and then they've got to pass the ball,
they've got to
throw the ball, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they've got to take free kicks and run around. And it's just like a quarterback. Like, yes, they're probably very skilled, but they are skilled at one thing.
Yeah.
They're skilled at dodging one player and throwing it.
Yeah, or running with it.
Or running with it, exactly. And it's just, when the ball turned over, the same players had to stay on the pitch, I think I'd get more into it.
Yeah, obviously with it's split into 3: offense, defense, and special. And speaking of special teams, I was talking to George upstairs, who's a Southampton fan.
Yeah.
Imagine that if we had special teams, like we had free kick takers, corner takers,
that came on only for that.
Yeah,
so
it'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it? Imagine being a penalty kick taker. Like you'd be pretty stressed like 90% of the time.
Yeah, well, or you just don't get any action.
No, you just have to sit there.
Who is it? West Ham's not been awarded a penalty all season.
No, it's crazy.
So if West Ham had a definite penalty taker, they'd.
I tell you who'd be worth a lot though, James Ward-Prowse in free kicks.
Oh yeah,
he'd be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, he'd be a great NFL kicker.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because he's so bloody accurate.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you look at America and then you look at us. And I remember once I was watching the Liverpool Champions League final when they made it against, I think, for the first time with that clown they had in net.
Oh, Karius.
Yeah. And all that and what have you. And then I think Dua Lipa performed at the start with One Kiss Is All It Takes. Yeah. And I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I think they did it the next year, and I kind of haven't done it again. I mean, it's weird. I mean, the FA Cup final, now they get performances before and all that because the FA Cup wants to show unity in this country, wants to be like that. And I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll ever get to I hope we don't get to a point where, like, you know, it's every ad or, you know, the players have to do something weird. I mean, you have a man of the match at the end of the Champions League final ever, but we don't have like the Champions League MVP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It would be strange if we did. I think it's like a player of the tournament. Do you get them in the Champions League? Is that? I don't really understand the MVP.
That most valuable player.
Well, they're not the most valuable player in that game, maybe.
Yeah.
But then you could say that about if an 18-year-old comes in and he suddenly has the game of his life and he never appears again, he's not the most valuable player.
No.
He's the best player in that game.
No, he's not. And I think with that is when you look at it, I like the term man of the match because it's man of the match.
Yeah.
You were the guy at that game,
or
the player of the match, or what have you. And then obviously at the end of it, we have the Ballon d'Or, and then obviously the FIFA World Player of the Year. And I think there's another one coming. I think there's another one. UEFA's.
There's a UEFA Player of the Year.
That's strictly Europe. And that's fine. And I think that's brilliant. Obviously that goes to a vote and whatever have you. Some people still argue to this day Messi doesn't deserve that one, Ronaldo doesn't deserve that one. But it's fine because again, it's a player vote and stuff like that. But when you come to MVP, I think again it comes back to football because Philip Lahm talked about this. I think sometimes you can see it as well. Forward players tend to always win it. You know, Philip Lahm always felt like in his career.
I feel like there needs to be a forward, a midfielder, and a defender, and they're all completely separate. So there's the Ballon d'Ors for just forwards, then there should be a Ballon de midfield or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Ballon de goalkeeper.
Exactly. But they're like you get like a goalkeeper of the year, but you don't get them defender, midfielder, attacker. You don't get them separated, and they're quite clear roles at the moment. Like a winger is an attacker.
That's what I mean. It comes back to one of them ones where like. If you a player like Philip Lahm, who's one of the best players I've seen, and then you're there, and then like you haven't won one, you probably think hard done by, but
he's
obviously
got no chance of winning one, really, has he? Because
he played during Messi and Ronaldo, and I think playing during that time, and I think the last one to win it that wasn't them was Luka Modric,
and then before that it was Kaká,
which was crazy.
A bit mental.
Yeah,
But we'll never see like Lev Yashin's the only goalkeeper to ever win it. We'll never see that again because there's always that attacking talent. And when was the last time like the world's best goalkeeper isn't a decided thing?
No.
Like we know it's between Messi and Ronaldo pretty much every year.
Yeah. I mean,
except this year, Lewandowski had a
great
season.
Lewandowski was clearly robbed. He was clearly taken from that, and I still don't get FIFA's decision to do that. Was it?
It was France football who run the Ballon d'Or.
Do they? Oh, I don't know.
But they just cancelled it this year. I've no idea why.
There's
no reason to cancel it.
You can do it online, and you can do it online. So for distant events or something like that, it still baffles me why they did that. And maybe the French like it when it's physical and
I mean, maybe it's the award, the ceremony more than the award.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a Ballon d'Or presentation?
But maybe it's for like the attendees. I mean, we're never going to watch it because it's boring.
I mean, you can think I'm right, but I watched one once with my dad in 2015, and it was the C one because it was on Eurosport.
Right,
and what makes me laugh is, it's like if we did a podcast now, we had like a Brazilian guest on, and we're talking to him in English, and then the Brazilian translator just goes and speaks. They had Kate Abdul on, and bless her, she was doing her best, but like, you're wondering why the hell have they got an English presenter for an event dominated by the Spaniards or the Germans this year? It's just one of them ones. It's very painfully awkward when they bring on footballers who aren't that charismatic to do it.
Well, yes. That is the problem, because Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a wonderful footballer, but he is a footballer. He's not going to be a TV
No, he's not a comedian. He's not Kevin Hart. He's not going to turn up and make some jokes like, one day we have a training session. He's not going to do that, and obviously we'll never do that. I think it's kind of strange now how they have so many different sub-awards. For me, the funniest award I've ever seen had to be when Leeds didn't go through because Bamford dived or something and they kicked the ball out and in the championship playoff.
All right.
I think against Derby, I can't remember now. They did a fair play thing. They didn't play on or something.
All
like
right,
that. And it ended up costing Bielsa and his team a chance to get in the Premier League a bit earlier. So then FIFA and all that wisdom thought, let's give him the fair play award, and Leeds accepted it, but you can tell they're thinking, they don't want that.
No,
it's stupid.
I know the incident you're on about. Because Leeds were also one of the dirtiest teams in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. So it just didn't make sense. It didn't add up, and I think those type of awards are good in concept, but obviously it's weird. Like, football doesn't have. I mean, you can have the best sportsmanship moment, I guess, but it's one of them ones. I think everyone looks forward to the goal one. What's the goal one?
The Puskas Award. Yeah. But then the Puskas Award's always dominated by the top league players. It's never actually the best goal scored.
No. I mean,
I think Heung-min Son won it for his run against Burnley.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great goal. Great goal, spectacular goal. But is it the best goal that's anyone's scored over a calendar year? Not really.
Yeah, because obviously
people have been scoring overhead kicks from the halfway line in Sunday League grassroots football. Which I suppose this year you've only got the top leagues to choose from.
There was one guy who showed a goal from FC Tokyo in the J League where like he runs past three and flicks and he scores and you think, wow, that's an incredible goal. But then that thing comes back in your head, is like, could that happen in the Premier League? You think about it, you're like, could he do that at the top level? It's still a professional level, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could he do it in the English league? Probably not.
But then some of the defending we've seen this year, yes, he probably could.
God, that's another thing. I don't know why defending has been so bad this year. You couldn't have a Defender of the Year award, really.
Not this year.
I can't think of one defender that's had a solid performance week in week. Well, maybe Ruben Diaz, John Stones. It'd have to be between them two. The best centre back partnership in Europe at the moment, aren't they? Like even Leicester, I think they've seen a couple of clean sheets, but even they've looked shaky at the back. I think Justin for me is.
Justin's been their standout performer, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, he deserves an England call-up, I'm just saying.
Oh, is that do you reckon he does?
Yeah, I think he does. Okay. I think he does. I mean, again, it's too late to get into this topic now, maybe we'll talk about it later, but there's been so many players now who've gone, Gareth, pick me. Yeah. Pick me, Gareth. I'm right here.
There's a really good English crop of talent. He's he's got a hard job. I don't envy him at all, because he's got a hard job to leave someone out, because some big names are getting left out of that squad.
Yeah, because they're going to think, I'm going to turn up this season, but Maddison, Jack Grealish, James Justin, the list goes on and on. Sancho even
Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes in with a shout.
I mean, someone put Bamford on. Yeah. And could
Bamford, Calvert-Lewin. Would you bring Vardy back out of retirement if you wanted to?
Exactly. So it comes back to that though. But I think where I want to leave it from my point of view today, because I'm conscious of the time, is probably just I want to talk about probably next week about how England are gonna do their team because that for me is just going to be so hard.
Especially with so many English players coming in and out of form and in and out of teams.
I mean, Jude Bellingham, apparently he's been doing well in Dortmund. I don't really watch.
I don't know.
So I don't really know. I just imagine he's doing well. So it's one of those things. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's been for me anyway.
Thank you for watching the WD Sports Podcast with Sam and Ahmed. We'll see you same time next week.
Cheers.